Robert Kiyosaki reflected on his journey, sharing the insights that had transformed his financial life. Over the past 30 years of marriage with Kim, he recalled, "We've encountered numerous challenges. We started with nothing, drowning in a sea of debt, $800,000 worth to be exact. Contrary to popular belief, Kim didn't marry me for money. Our dire financial situation was a learning experience, a tough one." Cutting up credit cards wasn't the solution. Robert continued, "Credit cards themselves aren't inherently bad. The real problem lay in the distinction between good and bad debt. Good debt meant someone else would cover payments, such as rental property income. Bad debt made one poorer each month, requiring personal payments." So, to give further understanding about this topic, we will talk about The Fastest Way to Pay Off Your Debt by Robert Kiyosaki. But before that, let's enhance your financial knowledge and join the ride on the Richest Roadmap channel. If you're ready to improve your budgeting skills, set financial goals, and work toward financial freedom, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to leave a comment, ask a question, or offer a suggestion about our videos, because we genuinely enjoy interacting with you. And now, let's get back to the topic. The Fastest Way to Pay Off Your Debt by Robert Kiyosaki. Step 1. Face the truth. The first step is all about facing the truth directly, something Robert Kiyosaki finds really tough. He talks about his past, how his wife Kim hadn't experienced financial struggles like he had. It was hard for her to understand how someone who drove a fancy Mercedes and lived in a fancy hotel by Diamond Head could be so broke and owe a lot of money. Kiyosaki admits he acted like he had money, using the fake it till you make it philosophy. He prayed to God, Jesus, and Buddha, hoping things would get better financially. He pretended to not have debt and to be doing well financially, going to expensive restaurants and showing off money. But in reality, he was in really bad financial trouble. Even though acting this way might work sometimes, it didn't work in his marriage. Kiyosaki says how being honest with yourself and open with the people you care about is really important. He talks about how he eventually had a truthful talk with his wife Kim, where he admitted that he wasn't actually rich despite how he seemed. Kiyosaki talks about the important idea that you can only make progress by starting from where you really are. He realizes that without knowing where you truly stand, you can't go to where you want to go. Step 2. Stop accumulating bad debt. Robert Kiyosaki says that making this choice might mean giving up some things. He talks about a time when he and Kim moved from Hawaii to California, and they ended up without a home right away. During that time, they had to live in a basement apartment in a garage. Kiyosaki remembers times when he had to leave suddenly because of money problems. With very little money, Kim was left with just $2 to get through the weekend, from Friday to Sunday, until he got back on Sunday night, hoping he'd have gotten paid for his work by then. Step 3. Make a list and keep track of every single debt you owe. Robert Kiyosaki really stresses how important it is to carefully keep track of every single debt you owe. He jokingly remembers how the word "all" carried a certain weight for him, making his wife give him a look because he was initially hesitant to fully admit the extent of his debt. Kiyosaki says he resorted to secretly paying bills and avoiding dealing with his financial responsibilities. Eventually, things made him face the truth of his situation. He talks about a big moment when he had to reach out to his past business ventures to deal with the seriousness of the situation, something he had been avoiding because he didn't want to show his wife how much he was struggling. The turning point came when he and his wife had to sit down and make a complete list together. Kiyosaki describes how they listed debts they owed to investors, friends, family members, and others he felt indebted to. He even mentions credit card companies that had gotten angry because he hadn't paid them back. He admits that this whole process needed a lot of honesty and facing up to the reality he had been avoiding. Step 4. Create a clear picture of all the debts you have. You do this by making a simple chart for each debt. Imagine dividing the chart into 4 parts. In the top left part, you write down the name of the person or company you owe money to. For example, Visa. In the top right part, you put the total amount you owe them. In the bottom left corner, you note the smallest amount you have to pay each month. And in the bottom right corner, you figure out how many months it will take you to pay off the debt. For example, if you owe $2,000 to Visa and need to pay at least $100 each month, it would take 20 months to pay it all off. You do this for each debt, and you put a number in a circle to show how long it will take to clear that debt. Kiyosaki talks about how he and his wife Kim started with very little. It took them about 10 years to go from having nothing to being financially free. Kim was 37 years old, and Kiyosaki was 47 at that time. They managed this change by focusing on things that make them money instead of things that cost them money. It was a big shift from just working to make money, pay bills, and buy things that might seem like they're worth money, but actually cost money. Kiyosaki remembers the first gift he gave Kim, a game about accounting that helped her think in the right way. Nowadays, they are seen as examples of being financially independent, and this is the main idea. Kiyosaki says that anyone can get to this point by changing their goals and priorities. Looking back at his journey, he talks about how in 1973, he started learning about real estate investment. Even though he faced some losses, he stayed committed to investing in things that would make him money. Step 5. Establish a prioritized sequence for settling each debt. This is where the importance of the numbers you circled comes in. You start by focusing on the debt with the smallest circled number. It's important to note that this approach doesn't consider the interest rate. While some might think it's better to pay off the debt with the highest interest rate first, the method here aims to give you quick results that highlight the formula's mechanics. So, you begin with a debt that can be paid off the fastest. This way of doing things is meant to give you quick wins, which can motivate you to keep making progress. The order you choose isn't based on interest payments. It's about targeting the debt you can get rid of quickly. When you look at how most people handle their finances, you often see a pattern where they earn money from their jobs, use that money to pay for their homes, and these payments go through a bank as mortgage payments. But here's something that might go against common understanding. This isn't considered an asset. Instead, it's actually a liability. The reason is that liabilities take money out of your pocket, while assets put money into it. For example, if you own a rental property, it's an asset because it makes you money. On the other hand, living in a house you own is still a liability, even if you don't have any debt on it. That's because of costs like taxes, depreciation, repairs, maintenance, and insurance. But things change when you rent out a property, especially if you've acquired and managed it well. In those cases, the property becomes a source of monthly income. Robert Kiyosaki's journey started with a small one-bedroom condo when he was 25, which made $25 in profit. This was the beginning, and the condo was an example of good debt. The money he put out for payments was balanced by the money coming in. Kiyosaki's path eventually led him and his wife to own a remarkable 6,500 properties. Each month, these properties bring in more money than they cost, while also providing homes for the people living there. This change from liability to asset happened by using debt strategically. Without any outstanding obligations, our financial foundation relies completely on financing, 100% through debt. But an essential difference sets this debt apart from regular debt, defined by two critical words: cash flow. This distinction embodies the core of good debt, which is the cornerstone of our journey toward financial freedom. Instead of falling into the usual debt traps or spending money on unnecessary things, those familiar with Rich Dad, Poor Dad or the cash flow game know that these funds are swiftly redirected into additional investments. In our case, we didn't use up those funds. Instead, we continuously acquired more properties, stocks, and bonds. It's worth mentioning that we avoided mutual funds and hastened our investment efforts with increased momentum. This shift propelled our investment rate from a modest 30% to a remarkable 80%, eventually reaching into the millions of dollars. This established a virtuous cycle of reinvestment, all while evading the complications of debt, leading to a rapid increase in wealth. Now, our assets seamlessly cover our financial commitments, giving us the chance to enjoy an extraordinary lifestyle. The ultimate triumph is the freedom from financial worries. The constant flow of income, powered by the ongoing investment strategy, ensures a perpetual state of financial stability. To maintain this path, unwavering discipline and steadfast dedication are vital. It's important to remember that this is a step-by-step journey, a transformation from one point to another. The process itself isn't flawed. Its success hinges on the bedrock of discipline and dedication. And that wraps up our video into The Fastest Way to Pay Off Your Debt by Robert Kiyosaki. This journey isn't just about numbers. It's a path of self-discovery, discipline, and financial progress. Thanks for joining us today. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and share it with anyone who might benefit from it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, Rich's Roadmap, for more valuable insights and financial advice. Keep taking charge of your finances. And remember, the road to riches is just beginning. See you in the next video.